Hello Lions fans, we have news that could completely change the course of the next game. If you follow the channel, you know that every detail can be decisive in the NFL, and this time we're talking about a key piece of the Detroit Lions offensive line, Taylor Decker. He was expected to be ready for the home opener against the Chicago Bears, but the latest updates aren't encouraging. While Decker is optimistic about getting back on the field, head coach Dan Campbell made it clear that the situation is far from guaranteed, putting the entire offensive plan on high alert. After all, protecting Jared Goff and keeping the offense running depends directly on the consistency of this line. Leave your like already, because what I'm about to tell you is essential to understanding what could happen in this divisional clash. Dan Campbell confirmed that Taylor Decker did not participate in Friday's practice for the third consecutive day, leaving his availability for Sunday open. If he is truly unable to play, the young Gio Manu, in his second year in the league and yet to make any offensive plays in the NFL, should take over at left tackle. Campbell was blunt in stating that Decker wants to play, but the coach weighed in on the risks of compromising the entire season if the injury is forced. Interestingly, Decker, despite missing part of training camp after shoulder surgery, played all 67 plays in the loss against the Green Bay Packers. However, the player admitted that he's dealing with some things, and this raised alarm bells in Detroit. Campbell, for his part, stated that he doesn't know if the current issue is related to the procedure performed in the preseason, but made it clear that the coaching staff is monitoring it closely. To further complicate matters, the Lions are already dealing with an unfavorable scenario at tackle. Their third-string player, Jamarco Jones, suffered a serious ankle injury during practice and is out for the season. Furthermore, Dan Skipper, a key swing tackle last year, missed the last 2 weeks due to a knee problem. In other words, the area that should already be a safe haven for the team has now become a major question mark. And when we look at Manu, the responsibility is immense. The fourth-round rookie is still in the development phase and has never played in an official league game. Campbell acknowledged this, but also emphasized that he has been improving during training, and that if called upon, he will have to be ready to help protect the quarterback and maintain the balance of the offense. The matchup between the Detroit Lions and Chicago Bears is scheduled for this Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time and promises to be one of the most tense games of the week, precisely because of these uncertainties. A weakened defensive line could jeopardize Dan Campbell's entire game plan, and he has already anticipated that adjustments will be necessary if Decker is unfit. The coach emphasized the importance of avoiding negative down and distance situations, showing that he is concerned about overloading the unit with an inexperienced player. Now the big question is, will Taylor Decker find the strength to be on the field and provide the security Jared Goff needs? Or will we see Gio Manu tested in one of the most challenging scenarios possible right at the start of the season? And I want to hear your opinion. Would you risk putting Decker on the field even if he's not 100% fit, or would you opt for keeping him for the long term? Comment below what you would do in Dan Campbell's place. Don't forget to like the video, because it really helps strengthen the channel. Let's now address a topic that's generating a lot of buzz. Which pass rushers the Detroit Lions can add soon to bolster this defense? And look, despite many criticizing the defensive line's performance against the Green Bay Packers, I maintain that it wasn't as bad as it seemed. The team struggled at first, it's true, but then they managed to adjust and hold things together better. The problem is that this doesn't change the fact that the team needs more depth, especially in the quarterback pressure department. And if the Lions truly want to compete on equal terms in the NFC, perhaps it's time to act now, not wait a few more weeks to address this shortcoming. So let's talk about 4 names that could arrive in Detroit and make an immediate impact. Some via trade, others in free agency, and even options that seem to be practically asking to move. The first name on the list is Azeez Ojulari, currently with the Philadelphia Eagles. Honestly, to this day, I don't understand why he ended up there, nor why he agreed to go. Ojulari's style is very reminiscent of James Houston. He's not the most efficient against the ground, but he can pressure the quarterback well and has already shown flashes of a guy who can make important plays. In Detroit, he could easily slot into the rotation alongside Marcus Davenport and even be used in more aggressive packages like the famous NASCAR package. the Eagles recently signed Zadarius Smith, which puts Ojulari on the back burner. This opens a window of opportunity for the Lions to offer a 2026 7th-round pick. Isn't that a small amount? Yes. But on reflection, it might be enough to convince Philadelphia to release the player and allow Detroit to add a young player with potential for growth. The second target is a much more significant name, Jaelan Phillips of the Miami Dolphins. This one divides opinions because his talent is undeniable, but his injury history is a major concern. Phillips was the 18th overall pick in the draft, an explosive guy who, when healthy, is practically unstoppable. The problem is precisely this. He hasn't been able to stay on the field. In the last 2 years, he suffered a ruptured Achilles tendon in 2023 and, shortly thereafter, another serious injury that ended his season in 2024. Even so, the Dolphins exercise their 5th-year option, but have already brought in reinforcements like Chop Robinson, Bradley Chubb, and Matt Judon. This shows they may be ready to move on. For Detroit, this would be a risky gamble, but with a huge reward if Phillips returns to full fitness. The projected cost? A 2026 6th-round pick. Cheap considering the player's ceiling, but with the risk every fan knows exists. The third name is Arden Key, currently with the Tennessee Titans. And here we're talking about a very logical situation. The Titans are a young, rebuilding team, and Key, at 30, is unlikely to be part of the franchise's long-term future. He's a free agent next year, and a renewal seems unlikely. Therefore, the Titans may listen to offers to capitalize now. For the Lions, it would be an opportunity to bring in a solid veteran who can add significantly to the rotation and also offer experience in pressure moments. Unlike the other names mentioned, this is the move that would require the most patience, as Tennessee isn't expected to release him immediately, but rather when they decide to sell assets. The market price? A 2026 5th-round pick. Nothing outrageous, but it could yield a significant return within Dan Campbell's proposed defensive rotation. And last but not least, we have the option of DeMarcus Walker, a free agent who, curiously, has already been on the Lions' radar. The veteran was a starter for the Bears last season and was in negotiations with Detroit in March, but nothing was finalized. Now he's available on the market and could arrive for a contract very close to the veteran minimum. This would be the kind of immediate, inexpensive, and experienced reinforcement capable of adding value without compromising the salary cap. Walker isn't a star, but he's solid enough to deliver quality snaps, something the team clearly needs to rest its starters without losing too much intensity. And since the Lions have shown interest in the past, it wouldn't be a surprise if this pairing finally happens. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these names would make the most sense for the Lions right now? Would you take a chance on Jaelan Phillips because of his potential, even with his injury history? Or would you prefer something safer like Walker or Key? Leave your opinion in the comments. Let's exchange ideas because this discussion is crucial for the immediate future of our defense. And of course, don't forget to like it because it really helps the channel grow and brings more content about our Detroit Lions.